This program contains some material that many parents would not find suitable for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Collector Shot. On today's episode, I have my man Ron, otherwise known as Sentri, the Mad Collector. Had a great conversation, talked about YouTube, collecting, toy hunting, and a lot of other fun stuff. So guys, as always, I will leave the links in the description below for Ron's channel. Make sure you go check him out. Hope you guys enjoy the interview, and let's go. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Collector Shot. Joining me on this week, well, that doesn't make any sense. How do you join someone on this week? Joining me this week is the one, the only toy hunting machine, avid wrestling fan, and just all around great guy, my man Ron Sentri, the Mad Collector. What's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me, man.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Listen, out of everybody I've done this with so far, I would say you're in the top 3 of people that I was actually really looking forward to getting on.
Dude, that's real talk right there. I have been I've been itching myself to get on this thing, so it's
exciting because we have a lot of similar interests.
Yes.
We feel a lot of the same things about the way we go about conducting ourselves out in the world. So I mean, it's nice to be able to have a conversation with someone that has similar interests. The personality's a little similar. We're both out there. So
yes,
I mean,
a bit, yes.
So let's just dive right down into the nuts and bolts of this shit. Dude, how long have you been doing YouTube now for already?
It's about a year, a little over a year and a half ish. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And with doing the YouTube, obviously we have our share of haters and negativity and all this other stuff. And you and I are one and the same when it comes to that type of topic of conversation, because you respond in the same way that I respond. You respond in a very polite, well thought out, methodical manner to where it basically just shuts people down.
I appreciate that you can appreciate that. I know you appreciate that, but yeah, it's all fun and games for me. And I guess it also depends on my mood, how I wake up. There's some days where it's just kind of like, you get those comments and it's like, I just don't give a fuck, half of a fuck to respond to this right now. And the other days I'm gonna be like, I want to make an example out of this person. That's what I'll do. There are other days where I'm just like, I'm just gonna fuck around. I don't care where this goes. It just depends on my mood. But it's all fun and games at the end of the day.
I love it's funny because I used to respond very in a very abrupt manner back in the day, and I feel like that didn't get me anywhere. So now I respond in a little bit more of a polite mannerism where I'm like, hey, oh, you're just a grown ass man shopping for kid toys. Well, you're just a grown ass man watching a grown ass man shop for toys.
Which is worse? Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. Those I love. I love when people leave those type of comments on my channel. Because it gets me excited, because it makes me feel like, okay, I'm doing my job. I struck somebody's nerve that much
to say that,
for them to come out and have to say that. So I mean, I'm even though that's not my intention, right, I'm doing my job.
You're getting a reaction. So
I'm stirring the proverbial pot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I think it's funny because I try to never assume, even if I get the stream of consciousness curse me out like crazy, which has come from time to time. There's not really much you can say to that, but thanks. But there have been cases where you get those borderline troll / criticism sort of comments, not really like bordering constructive criticism, but also kind of rude. So like, with those people, I just reply like I normally would reply. And there have actually been, in some cases, whether it was either a miscommunication or an overreaction, to something that someone saw or whatever, and I reply to it, and those people have now become staples of the comments section in a good way, and viewers of the channel. So you just you never know. That's probably also 1% of those comments, but it's just funny. It's a very interesting place YouTube is, and I don't know why I sounded like Yoda there, but it is an interesting place, and I always consider myself a subscriber, a viewer, a fan first, and that's when I put my stuff out. That's something I always have in mind, what I would want to see or what I enjoy seeing and doing, and being myself, all those sort of things. But yeah, I never thought when I started this, I just didn't know what to think, right? I thought everyone's gonna be a certain way. Oh, all the content creators, whatever the hell you want to call us, people that have YouTube channels. Oh, everyone's gonna want to be friends, and everyone is gonna be cool. And everyone wants to just like powwow and talk about collecting and our collections. And it's a great way to. It'll be a great way to connect to some people that I watched before. And it's just, and the comment section, that who knows. Never had any expectation there, but with everything I just mentioned, including the comment section, there are a lot of things that just have been very eye-opening in having a channel for a little over a year now that I guess I would have never necessarily expected.
Well, before we dive any further, obviously, I got one key component to this interview, sir.
Oh, yes.
So on this show, we call it the collector shot for a reason. So I'm drinking a little bit of rum and Coke tonight.
Okay.
What do you got, good sir?
I got a little Hill Rock bourbon here.
Ooh, nice.
Cracked out the nice stuff for this.
Well,
have to.
Well, cheers to you, sir. I'm drinking out of my Yankee cup.
Cheers. Nice.
Ooh. God, it's so smooth. It stings the nostrils.
Oh yeah.
So, I totally agree with everything you just said. Been doing it for 5 years now, and every year it gets a little bit more difficult as you go along because you learn a lot about people, and you learn about perception. You learn a lot about, as my man JP would say, transparency.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that the people, it's always interesting when I meet people that watch, because again, I always tell people what you see on camera is what you get off camera, and you can contest to that because you've met me in person, so know firsthand what you see is what you get. Now there's other people on the other hand who are the total opposite. They put the song and dance on, and then after that, they're a whole nother person. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. I've experienced a lot of ups. I've also experienced my share of downs. But that's, I'm gonna go into all that when I finally just say fuck it, and I'm gonna just quit YouTube, and then I'm gonna make a long thought out video of everything that happened in the time span that I did YouTube, and I will burn it all to the ground.
I think that's the only way to go out if you
exactly. At that point, I'm probably going to hit fuck it, and that's what's going to happen. But but in the meantime, we're just going to say I'm gonna not break kayfabe, and I'm going to stay face for now and not turn heel. So
it's going to be a big heel turn.
So yeah, man. So I mean, it's cool. You've been doing the toy hunt stuff. Like myself, and it's been fun to watch. Some of my favorite segments on your show is when you're just chilling in your car, just bullshitting, just catching up. You get your cup of coffee, you feel all warm and cozy in the car. And one thing that I can take away from it as a wrestling fan, and I'm not even sure that that's your intention. Me personally, I feel when you're sitting in your car just talking, I feel like you're cutting a promo. You're always cutting a promo, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy it because I love a good promo. Listen, you did that one video where you cut a promo on me, you cut a promo on Dub, you cut a promo on Mike, and I even commented saying, "Get this man a WWE contract right now." Because that was some of the best promo work I've ever seen.
I appreciate that coming from a real wrestling fan. Thank you. Yeah, it's fun for me, and I think like, and in my car, and I've mentioned this on my channel a lot, especially when I had first started, and for people that ask, because there are people that even will reach out to me and ask about tips and tricks and things, and I'm like, I have no tips and tricks. I'll just be yourself,
That's it.
and that's all that is. I mean, like the only difference now is that I have my iPhone in front of my face on a tripod in my car. Otherwise, I'd be just talking to myself. And I was like, well, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm out here all the time. I've been toy hunting heavy since 2015, getting back into figures really seriously back in 2015, although I've been collecting figures my entire life, but serious toy hunting around 2015 and going out all the time and being inspired like gentlemen such as yourself and Mr. OG Cookie Thief
OG
and
cookie thief.
and
The
Dub
OGest
and
of cookie
the
thieves.
OG. He is the OGest of Cookie Thief. Um, and some other channels. I was like, you know what? This would be a cool. It just felt like the next natural progression in my collecting journey. I always like describe YouTube for me as an extension of the hobby, and that's the way I see it. It's like I take pride in the stuff that I put out, the editing, even though it's not a Martin Scorsese film, but
No.
I do take pride in my editing. I do take pride in my thumbnails. Are they the best of the best? I know, but I would never put something that I would not be proud of. So, and I wanted to. We just moved into this house at the time that I started this. I started my channel right before the fucking figures, right
Yeah.
before the pandemic, and I'm like, well, that's great. And I'm in Boxville right now. Had to gimmick that because I'm like, well, I'm going to be down here probably for a little bit like this, and then the pandemic hits, and I'm like, I'll put out a couple of. I didn't really start my channel until maybe 6-8 months into having it, and even up until then, I was doing maybe like one video or so, like a toy hunt a month. And I was like, until I get my basement settled, I don't really expect either much to happen or to do much by way of my channel. And so for me, this is without any expectations, much farther along than I ever expected to be. I'm just really excited to get this room settled finally and be able to do some other things.
Well, you are the mayor. You are the mayor of Boxville.
I am
So,
the president, CEO, mayor,
I'm
deputy
not.
commissioner.
I'm not only a client. I'm also the president.
I'm fucking everything. Yeah. So I could stage dive right now into this pyramid of shit to my left over here. But
listen, man. I mean that's just the nature of the beast. I mean,
yeah,
we order, a lot of shit. We buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, but that's the great thing about having a room. It's always an ever-changing process. You never, you might set it up right now the way you want it. Maybe like a year or two later, it'll be like, yo, fuck this shit. I need to change it up again.
It's collecting. That's
exactly
the nature of collecting. I mean, art collections change, they evolve. And I mean, when I found MCE, it was actually, I found MCE first because this and some other folks know it. But I'm a big statue guy, just as big of a statue guy than I am. Yeah. So like I found MCE through Tony Stank, the Stankalorian, the stankiest poppy of them all. So, and then all of a sudden, I see these toy hunts. And the funny thing is, at the time I was out of collecting pops when you were heavy into it. And
biggest mistake of my life, by the way. Biggest mistake of my life was ever collecting those little shits.
But you were very passionate about it at the time. And at the time, I wasn't even collecting that shit at the time. And I was like, and I remember texting my buddy Joe, who also, we watch your channel and Mike's and Dubs and for years. And I remember texting him and being like, yo, even though we're not collecting pops anymore, like, these are fucking fun videos. I'm like, look at this fucking guy. He's out here. He loves his pops. Like, I'm like, why am I? And then Sergeant Funko at the time.
Yep.
And I was watching all these channels, and that's the one thing I love about YouTube. It's like you don't have to. It's not like, or at least for me, most of the stuff that I watch, I don't even collect. I just like seeing what other passionate collectors, real collectors are doing. And that's what I like. I like to be entertained by that. And that's really it. And that's how like I said, I found you. And then I saw your natural progression from pops to figure. I'm like, he's into Marvel. I'm like, this motherfucker is going to be collecting statues in a year. Just give it a second.
Listen, honestly, dude, I wish You're one of the guy. You're one of the guys that I wish that actually lived closer to me.
Same,
So
same.
so we can we can hang out more.
Yeah.
And because that one video that we did together when you came down, I mean that was a lot of fun. Just us joking around, have bullshitting, and it was it's fun. And I could care less even if we recorded. It was just
Yeah.
hanging out and having a good time.
Yeah,
And
dude, that was a great day.
and that's the most important thing to me. I could care less about recording, but it is fun to record our exploits and all the bullshit and all the hilarity that assumes, when the camera's on people. I mean, listen, I'm one of those guys that come up with like literally like the best shit on the fly.
Yeah,
You,
I
you
know.
know, and it's funny too because Mike won't openly come out and admit this, but I know there are times when I'm recording him and he's probably just saying in the back of his mind, he's like, I wish this guy would just fucking go away just for 2 seconds. I wish he would just fucking go away and just leave me alone.
I think he's done a better job at hiding that in the more recent videos.
Yeah. So, but listen, again, this is one of the things that I've enjoyed the most about doing YouTube is collecting with not only collaborating but connecting with other people of similar interests. And that's been the great thing about it. And again, I always say people are going to come and go in your life. There's no ands, if, buts about it. But there are certain people who you want to keep in your life, and you keep those people close, close to you, and hope that you don't fuck it up. Yeah. So I mean, listen, I've fucked up my fair share of friendships over the years. I mean, I'm not the world's most perfect person, but but we try our best. We pray for the best, and so listen. Hopefully, I don't fuck up our friendship. Just saying.
I mean, the last thing on my mind. I mean, I consider you and Mike, some of my closest friends. And it's like and that's to me, I've been talking about the 3 C's here on YouTube: is collecting, collaborating, and community. And it's like for me, I would not be able to. I think collaborating was the second one. I don't know, fucking know, but I think like. For me, collecting would not be nearly as fun if I was just like doing this by myself.
Yeah.
And I would still collect, but it would probably be on a different scale and maybe a different way. But to have the community and the close, tight knit group of friends that I have and we have, to be able to do that together, even if we're not physically with each other
absolutely
all the time, it's fucking awesome. And that's really what YouTube was, the conduit, the gateway.
Yeah.
I think to really take collecting for, I dare say, most of us to a different level, because it's like, oh, we get to share things with each other, bounce ideas off each other, and then on top of that, make these dopey videos and share that with each other and everybody else in the community, and it's just a lot of fucking fun.
And it's funny how you talk about like collections evolving and things like that, and I'm actually going through, if I want to use my my Dragon Ball knowledge, Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I'm maybe in like my third or fourth evolution right now. So I'm evolving into now where I'm only gonna solely be doing wrestling.
Focused, yeah.
And this is what, and again, you get lost along the way, and then you find what it is that really brings you the enjoyment. Do I love the Marvel stuff? Sure. Do I love Ninja Turtles? Of course. I grew up watching Ninja Turtles. Batman, Superman, all that other stuff, but nothing has filled the void in my life more than wrestling has. Some of my best experiences have been watching wrestling or going to wrestling events, buying all these old Hasbros again. They've just brought me so much freaking enjoyment, and I just I don't it feels right. When something feels right, it feels right. It's like you can't explain it.
No,
it just feels right. And
Hasbros are euphoria. So
yeah, it does. It's just something about it just feels right. And that's where I'm headed right now. So it's like I'm actually selling off a lot of my Hot Toys. I'm dumping some of the statues. We're going all in, no pun intended. But that's just what it is. That's what makes me happy. And I think every collector at some point hits that threshold where they're like, you know what, this is what I want to collect. This is what I'm sticking with, and that's it.
You kind of get to that fork in the road, and you might get to that. You might get to multiple forks in the road, but like there's that definitive fork at some point where it's like, I'm going to go in this direction now, because you collect a lot of stuff, or you buy all the things that you wind up liking from the different themes and licenses. And I mean, let's face it, nowadays more than ever, we are inundated with stuff, and it's all really good stuff, for the most part. But it's a lot, and it's a lot to keep up with. I wouldn't recommend anyone or suggest to try and keep up with any of it, but it is good to pick a focus. I think that focus collections are the best collections to look at display wise, personally, and then you get to spend all of your disposable income and put it towards that, so you can really get some really good shit, because you're only buying that. I mean, that said, my collection is not overly focused. I mean, it has themes to it, but there are things that, like, I just for me, I have to. I mean, I'm gonna have a big wrestling display. Wrestling, same for me, has been a huge part of my life in every way. Those promos or quasi promos, whatever you want to call it. Like, all that's just inspired by watching wrestling,
exactly,
and taking a lot of improv in college and just having fun and doing the things that I never, would ever think that I would ever be able to do or share with people. So yeah, I mean, it's like between that and Turtles and Motu and Marvel, it's just it's nostalgia, and I think we've all been hit by the nostalgia bug. We're all around the same age. We're in that demographic where it's like,
oh yeah,
yes, Turtles, Predator, fucking everything that NECA puts out, and then and everything that Super 7 overcharges us for, and all that shit. So,
like,
and then the vintage stuff. You're bit by the vintage bug, like me too. I mean, that's most of my wrestling. Like, I don't really collect modern wrestling. Like, if you actually watch any of my hunts when I pick up wrestling stuff, I keep that very lean, because I only really like to go after like the classic guys, golden era guys, 2000, sub 2000 guys, and then mostly just all vintage wrestling lines for the most part, or vintage wrestling inspired lines.
So I found a I guess you want to say a method that works for me with what I'm doing with the wrestling. Obviously, I'm backtracking right now. I'm getting every single Hasbro that I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
I just
saw that.
I just bought in what is it? We're recording this on Tuesday, so today's video. I literally just bought all the Mattel retro ones that Bits and Buttons had in their case. That was 27 figures I bought.
That's what I meant by I saw that earlier.
Because I also ordered that new 4-pack that was up on Mattel Creations website that came with the JYD and
that's a must.
What is it? Oh no, it was Mr. T, Gene Okerlund,
Mr. T, Okerlund,
Bob Orton, and Piper.
Well,
I think it was. So I snagged those. Every single WWE Ultimate Edition figure that's come out, I have it.
Yeah. Oh, you have that now. You have all of them.
I have all of them.
Wow.
All of them.
Wow.
I'm up to date. I got Alexa Bliss and the Fiend. I got the Ultimate Warrior in the other day.
I need to get that. That's the Amazon exclusive, right?
Yeah. So and I also backed the Ring, so I can get the Diesel and the Doink and the Macho Man and all that stuff. So I am all caught up to date on Elites. I paid now on Ultimates. Now I went out of my way and I paid through the ass. To get some of the older ones, which were actually, all joking aside, peg warmers for the longest time.
Yeah. That's how it goes, dude. I mean, fuck. I mean, those retros. Think about those retros.
Yeah.
I mean, like, those are I was scooping those at $5 Below like a year ago.
Yeah. Now I was looking online. Like, there's what is it? I'm missing Shinsuke. I'm missing 2 Roman Reigns, 2 John Cena's. And a lot of these now are going for like $30-$40.
Yeah.
Loose. Not even on card.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I remember I refused to pay for fucking Diesel Mattel Retro. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm like, $30 on Amazon. No way. And then I wound up, shout out to my boy Hastel Toy, a year and a half later, I'm like, got a fucking deal for like under $90,
Yeah.
shipped.
Yeah,
So
Mitch is the man. I actually just
yes,
bought two Rocky figures off of him like a couple of weeks ago.
I'm loving the
So
Rocky display. I already know what I'm gonna get you for Christmas. So because I know you don't have it, and it's fucking really cool. I might even get
uh-oh.
one for myself. The last thing I need to do is fucking start buying Rocky shit. But I definitely know what I'm
See,
what I'm getting you for
but again,
Christmas.
that's the thing. Rocky hits home with me.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, that's the thing. So also, I have almost every single AEW figure that has been released, with the exception of a few chases, which, some of them are just going to be so out of reach that I can't. Like, there's that 1 in 500 Cody from Series 1.
Yeah, I
That's like a
forgot. Yeah.
$5,000 figure, dude. I ain't spending $5,000 on a fucking chase.
That's for guys like us. That's literally the definition of lottery: walking into a Target and
Yeah,
rummaging through the shit, and it's like, what the, that it'll
exactly.
just. And honestly, if that figure even made the shelves to even have a shot, but like you and I both know it probably isn't
No,
even going to hit the shelves. You'd
no,
have to get just
never.
absurdly lucky to see that in a store.
No,
So
that's an employee who knows what they're doing when they're opening up
yeah,
the boxes and putting shit on
yeah,
the pegs.
yeah.
You
That's
know,
a self-made bonus for the year.
exactly. So, but yeah, and then the other thing is too is like I'm gonna start buying a bunch of memorabilia. I'm gonna start.
Awesome.
I'm gonna start grabbing some of the replica belts.
That's cool,
And
dude.
that's what I wanted. That's what I want to do. I mean, listen, I had one guy leave a comment on my video today. He goes, ever since you decided to buy wrestling stuff, I don't think I'm gonna watch anymore. Okay, well, don't watch
Goodbye.
anymore. You
Yeah,
know
I
what?
mean, like,
The
yeah,
wrestling, so not to sound selfish, and I've said this on a couple other episodes. This is not for the people.
yeah,
What I'm doing right now is I guess you want to say it's more of like a legacy thing where, long after my time is come and gone in this world, there will be documentation for my kids, my grandkids, my great grandkids, of how much of a jackass their great grandfather was, grandfather and dad was. And this is a legacy thing. It's not really for them. It's more for me it's more for me.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and the wrestling thing is, listen, I've already told people I'm still going to go on the hunt. I'm still going to show everything that's out there.
yeah. I mean, like,
I'm just not.
I'm
I'm just
watching
gonna.
your videos. There's
Yeah,
no like you're just buying
yeah.
different stuff.
I'm
But
just.
like,
I'm just a little bit more methodical in what I'm buying.
yeah,
And,
but that's collecting. That you
yeah,
should be methodical.
yeah.
Just buying it. Like, to me, there's a difference between. I've had this conversation before with numerous other guys and collectors and stuff. But there's a difference between buyers and buying and collectors and collecting. There's a huge difference. Buying everything is not collecting, in my opinion. That's
That's just
just
hoarding. That's just
being a
hoarding at that point.
gabone and fucking buying things. And yeah,
A gabone.
so it's like
or if you want a casa,
it's a
it's like
yeah,
casa.
that's gabone collecting to me. Junk collectors out there, and then it's like that's the thing. It's like you're doing this, like you said, for your legacy. This is your collection. You're collecting. You're sharing that with the world, with the community, and that's exactly how I feel about it. It's like especially now you guys are so established with MCE, and you've been doing YouTube for such a long time, and you do get you do get views, you do get the attention regardless, and that's to me that's the ultimate. You don't have to do the gimmicky bullshit to get the views, but what gets views at the end of the day. So
Oh,
if
I
you were
mean,
doing this for the people or whatever to give you, you'd be, clearance on Barbies and this and that, and,
oh,
catering to like scalp because scalpers are watching this shit
oh
and
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And listen,
So
I would be doing
it's not
that.
about that though.
I would be doing that. Everything would be clickbait.
Yeah,
Every thumbnail would
misleading
be would
bullshit.
be would be clickbaitish.
Yeah, which is
And
fine if that's what you want to do. There's
and
nothing.
I
Do
wouldn't
whatever you want to do, but
and
that's
and I wouldn't be as transparent as I am.
right.
And
And you
and
wouldn't
then
have the sub base that you have.
yeah, and then the other thing is too is that then this episode is sponsored by so and so. This episode is sponsored by that. I would, if that was the case, I would go out and be pulling sponsors left and right.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I don't have a lot of companies that want to work with me, because again, at the end of the day, I'm not a marketable person, and I don't try to put myself out there to be a marketable person. I'm going to say what I want, do what I want, and feel what I want. And again, I've always said this, and anyone that knows me has heard me say this 1,000 times. There are two types of people in this world. Either you love me or you hate me. There's no there's no in between. There's no in between. So, and that's it. And that's how I live. That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
you're doing this to share your collection journey, and that's to me what it's all about. I would never compromise my collecting or my collection or myself in any way for YouTube views.
Yeah. I mean,
And that to me is doing it for I'm doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for anyone that wants to watch. I'm being honest.
oh, exactly.
So it's as simple as that.
So I've noticed on the channel you've been throwing in a little bit of reviews, here and there of some upcoming stuff and so some stuff. So is that like a new thing you're trying out? Like you're just trying to test the waters, or are you just being like, you know what? I don't know if I really feel like a hunt video this week. Let me just throw this up and let me see if it sticks.
Yeah, I mean, well, early on, I was doing a lot of toy haul videos.
Yeah,
Very, very, very early. I had a lot of stuff. I always have a lot of stuff coming in, but I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to share with folks, and I also did some statue chat preview videos very early on too. I have a slew of them. If you way back when no one knew or cared. I mean, not that many more people know or care now, but when really nobody knew or cared at all, I had some of those, and then I just kind of, I mean, I do what I want when I feel like I want to do it. As
yeah,
I always said, my channel. So it's not necessarily new, but I am doing some of these things now because I've just felt inspired to do them, like the Batman premium format Daniel Bell sculpted sideshow piece that's coming out. That got me really amped up. So I wanted to do a preview video on that. My haul videos, I've always done hauls here and there. I've been doing more lately, or really over the course of the past 6 to 8 months. I've had stuff that's come in that I wanted to share. I've felt less inclined to show the breakdown of my hauls at the end of toy hunt videos. I just wanted to change that. I wanted to see what any of the viewers of the channel thought about that, and I just wanted to keep hunts to hunts and hauls to hauls. It's additional content, and I also think it's a nicer way to just break up. So I do like monthly toy hunting
yeah.
acquisition videos now.
No, that's good. No, it's good. I like that. I like that thought process. It's like, I'm one of those people that have been, I do the hunt and then I do the haul, I do the
Yeah.
haul all in one,
Yeah.
all in one video. And again, that's what works for me. It's, everybody's got to find what works for them. So it's cool that you break it up, that you break it up like that, you give a little variety in that, and, in that way, it's not just lumped into one thing.
Yeah, it's I also just giving people a different view of the channel, the videos, little tweaks here and there. I feel like at least for me, in my opinion, it's nice to mix it up a little bit. I'm not changing drastically changing the format or anything that I'm doing, but I think to showcase things a little better than me holding it up in my car or even like briefly here. I mean, the haul videos that I've been making, you're getting an up close and personal. They're almost quasi inbox reviews.
Yeah.
So, and that's what once I actually have my room up, I do plan to get more into reviews for statues and figures in my own way, collection videos, collection rants, live streams, those sort of things. I definitely want to add that sort of content, into the channel once I have a place to do that in. But yeah, right now it's hunts and hauls.
Yeah,
Mostly.
I'm a big advocate for live streams. Now, if you're looking at it from a monetary standpoint,
Yeah.
again, transparency, you don't really make a lot of money on the live streams
Right.
unless people are super chatting you. But that
Right.
that I can give a fat rat's ass about. What I get at, what I enjoy from the live streams is just chatting it up with the people.
Yeah.
Listen, when we put out pre-recorded stuff, it's hard for us to respond to every single comment.
Yeah.
We've all got lives, we've all got 9-to-5 jobs, we've all got families, we've all got life gets in the way of a lot of things. Let's just call it that.
Right.
So I try to respond to everybody in a timely manner.
Yeah.
But
same.
I enjoy the live chat, the live streams. It's right there. You're asking me a question. I'm responding to the question. You get your instant gratification, and I'm enjoying having a conversation with you and answering your questions.
Yeah.
I wish I could do more live streams all the time.
Yeah.
It's just that I just don't have the
Only
time.
so many hours in the day. I mean, especially
Exactly.
for what you're doing. So, I
Exactly.
mean,
So I love the live streams. I wish I could do more of them. Like I would just go live and not have any agenda and just randomly bullshit and see
yeah.
where it goes.
That is my plan once I actually
You,
have a room,
you know,
because there's going to be plenty of stuff to actually talk about. I feel like in my room, things that I have come in, I'll probably do like a lot of these pre-recorded hauls I'm doing now will most likely be live because to me, the essence of live streams is what this is all about. It's just straight up interacting with other like-minded folks, collectors, and talking about stuff that's coming out, talking about the stuff that you have, bouncing ideas off each other.
exactly.
There's no better way to do that other than in person or live. So
I rather have someone call me a fucking asshole in the live chat than leave
so
a
much
comment.
better.
It
So
is
much
so much
better.
better.
So
It
much
is so
better.
much better because there I can just respond to it on. I can not respond to it and not acknowledge it.
Yeah. Or
You
you
know,
can just
because
right off the bat live,
yeah,
just end it, squash it.
because because it's funny because it's like listen, 95% of the time I see everything that comes
Right.
in the chat. Do I pick and choose what I respond to? Sometimes depending on the question, but like even when we do like the geek show or the Lego lounge, or even the collecting news, George always hates when I do this, by the way. So like when the show goes live and I'm like, and we're saying hi to everybody and I'm like, hey, we've got about, 60 something people watching right now and about 24 thumbs up. And, I'm kind of pissed off that YouTube took away the thumbs down.
Well, it did and it didn't, I guess, right? Because we can still see it in
Well,
studio.
we can see it in the studio, but we can't see it on the video. So now I
Yeah.
don't know if anybody's giving me a thumbs down because what I used to do is be like, oh, and for those 3 people that have already given us thumbs down, guess what? Go fuck yourself. And I can't do that anymore. You took away you basically took away my ability to have fun. Now I know George is happy about that, but I'm not.
You know what's funny though about that YouTube, which is so fucking mysterious, and anyone out there definitely don't try to figure that shit out. But it's like half the time I don't even know why we have these dashboards and these metrics, and it's like it's like these convoluted, dopey explanations for all of it. Just like don't make it available for us to look at. It doesn't make any sense. But I don't want to digress. But I guess partly to that point, what is the point of taking away the thumbs down when people still have the ability to click on it and you can still measure it in the background? It's like just take it off, like remove it.
It's like
what is that? That to me is the shining example of YouTube fucking weirdness. Like I don't understand that.
It's not even weirdness. The best way I could describe it is like today, like playing youth sports. Okay, you didn't win the championship
Trophy,
but here's you didn't win the championship, but here's a participation trophy. So I feel like them taking away the thumbs down is them giving me just a participation trophy. That's the best way I could explain it. So
well, it gives all the miserable people out there a chance to say it's like you're a miserable fuck, and YouTube says no one can really see that, but you still have the opportunity to be a miserable fuck and click something on.
What I would really love more than anything, and I know YouTube will never allow it to happen.
What's that?
When someone gives you a thumbs down, I would love to see who the person is that gives you the thumbs down.
Oh, no way.
That
would be great, but yeah, no way.
That I think that right there alone would cause a lot of mass murders.
Oh, dude, it would be bad.
A lot of aggravated assaults.
It would be very, very, very bad. Very, very.
I mean, me personally, I would love to know.
Would I. Listen, that would be amazing.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I've already got an idea of a majority of the thumbs down that I get. I already have an idea of who those people are and where they come from. And I've already made peace. I've already made peace with that. So that is what it is. But still, I would just part of me would just love to know that.
I wish they had like a constructive thumbs down. Like I am all for, like, you don't have to like my stuff, but like it would be great to know, not necessarily, I guess in a sense why, like, and not in the way of like, I want to know why because I want to change your mind. I definitely don't care about changing your mind, but just from a content, like, I'm just curious. I'm curious to know what you actually didn't like. If it's something like my personality, well, that ain't changing. So thumbs down the shit out of everything. But like, but if there are other things, constructive things that make sense to be like, well, it's like you could thumbs down the video. It's like I didn't necessarily dislike it, but I didn't like this, that, and the other thing, or the thumbs down outweighed the thumbs up. That would be interesting to know those things. Completely unemotional, just factual things that people. But the problem is it isn't constructive, which is why they need to take it away.
Yeah.
Completely, because it's like it's just going to be like, "Well, fuck you," and it's like, "Oh, this is whatever the case may be. You found all this stuff, fuck you. You said this, fuck you." It's like
exactly.
right.
Why did I get a thumbs down? Oh, because you pushed some old lady out of the way to get the Spider-Man figure you were looking for.
A figure dropped and you didn't put it back. It's like, how do you know that?
Yeah. How do you know I didn't turn off the camera and put it back after the fact?
Yeah. How do you know these things? Or it's like the people. I don't know if this is like you get the people that are just like, "Oh wow, I've seen you there and you didn't put it back." I'm like, you should have said hello. What do you mean?
I get those, but on a more nicer level. They're like, "Oh, we saw you in the store, but we didn't want to come up to you because we saw you were filming."
Oh,
and I instantly respond back. I said, "Why don't you come up and say hi? I'm not gonna bite. I'm not gonna bite.
Yeah,
I'm a giant teddy bear." But I listen. I love that. I love that stuff. That's
all of it's great.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
The thumbs up, the thumbs down. It's all in good fun.
So let's shift gears a little bit and move over to the toy hunting aspect of it, because this is what I really like when I talk to other toy hunters. So obviously you like myself have your set stores of Targets and Walmarts and other stores that you hit up on the regular. Mm-hmm. Over the years, obviously, have you been finding it easier to find stuff, or do you live in a I guess in maybe like a highly competitive area? Because I live in a very ultra competitive area. Yeah. I mean, those Walmart stings hit my area and I couldn't even get one. Luckily enough, Scotty came through for me and snagged me one. So that's, nice. shout out to Scotty. Scotty's nice. My hero. So, but but yeah, it's very ultra competitive in my area. How is it in your area? I mean, do you have a good string of luck finding stuff, or you usually like, if I find it, I find it, and if I don't, I don't, because I can't get out there at the times that these other guys can.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I live in a very, I would say, a pretty competitive area as well. It's, I think, similar to yours. I think we both get above average stock and pretty good first dibs on some things, but that gets a bit outweighed, I think, by the competitiveness. So yeah, it's definitely there, and it can be tough. And one of the other things that's funny, this is a great topic of discussion for anyone that toy hunts, and things that I've spoken about before too, where it's like, it's amazing to me, for even if we're not going to be able to get out to the store at store open every day, or at the on the day of a drop, or whatever the case may be, right? But we still frequent these stores. We go to these stores so often. You would think we shouldn't have a problem, finding anything, regardless of the competition, but we do. And that to me is the crazy thing. Some of the things that I've never seen, and I guess it's not necessarily much in the grand scheme of things, but there are things I definitely have not and still have not seen ever. And I just find that so weird. And it's the post Toy Store era, dopey store exclusive bullshit that we have to deal with. Part of it, some of it's fun, some of it isn't. Some of it's just ridiculous. The stuff that the online exclusives, the store exclusives, the comics. Yeah. There's just so much to keep up with, and I'm like, if I have to overpay for something down the line, if it's something I really want, then fine. But but yeah, it is. I definitely do feel that. I mean, like I'll get to a store and I'm like, well, here's the new line of this, and it was picked. It's like no stings yet for me here either. But I found the wave, multiple times. So
yeah. Well, so here and I what you were saying actually hit a note with me. So I've always been a person that I never pre-order anything. I don't order anything.
Yeah.
And I've always just gone out and have tried my damnedest to find it, because I love the thrill of the hunt. Same. I love that instant gratification for where you find it, the euphoria that just comes over you. I mean, shit. Who else in your right mind would have gone to 15 fucking Walmarts to find that worthy Captain America
Oh my
legend? I
God.
mean,
Oh my goodness. Yes.
I mean, and listen, people thought I was just being stupid when I filmed myself dancing in the middle of the fucking aisle. No, I was fucking stoked that I finally got it. I didn't give a shit who saw me dancing, but now the thought process has changed because of what I'm collecting now.
Yeah.
There are things that I can only get online.
Yep.
And there are certain things that I have to order because I want to guarantee I get it. Like, honestly, like and again, we're going back to this because just to use this for reference, the AEW Sting figures are probably the 3 best wrestling figures I've seen to date.
They are excellent.
I have two out of the 3 of them. I need the chase.
I never saw the first Unrivaled. I knew better, and I did pre-order that one. I pre-ordered 2 because I'm going to take one out of box and I want to keep one in box because I think they look awesome.
They do.
But so yeah, I mean, there are things from time to time I will pre-order that. And I'm glad I did because I've never fucking seen that thing once.
Exactly.
Not one time.
I knew when the images of that figure got released and I saw the images of it, it automatically clicked in my head like, oh shit, this is going to be one of the hardest figures to probably find. You have to pre-order it, and that's exactly what I did. I went on ringside. I pre-ordered the whole way. I pre-ordered the whole wave, and I ordered a second Sting just as a just so I have it so I can open it up and display it. Yeah, so it's like there are just certain things like, again, the Amazon exclusive Ultimates. That's the only way. That's the only way I can get them. And if I'm going to be an Ultimate Completist, then I gotta get them.
Yep.
So that's where I'm at. The Alexa Bliss, and so the funny thing is that the Alexa Bliss and the Bray Wyatt just got released, but yet Targets and Walmarts now. Well, I wouldn't even say Walmarts. I would say more Targets. Targets now are getting the Undertaker and the Kane.
Yeah.
And that's been out for quite some time already.
Well, yeah, a good while. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Takers. I've seen a lot of Canes.
I've seen a few Takers already, but again, I ordered those off of Ringside because I had a feeling that once they hit the shelves, those were going to be tough ones to find.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm going to be doing moving forward with certain figures and certain waves, because I know it's going to be extremely, like right now I'm kicking myself because I didn't pre-order the new unmatched wave that has the Dark Order with the Upper Deck cards in it.
Those are cool.
I went
those
on
Dark Order figures are cool.
I went on Ringside's website. They're on back order now until I think like the end of March. So I have to wait, so I have to wait. But that's fine though. I know Ringside's going to come through. I'm not worried about it. So if I have to wait a little bit to get him, I'm going to get him. But that Brody Lee, awesome. that's going to be a super sought after figure. You are not going to find that on the shelves.
No.
You'll find the rest of the Dark Order, but you won't find Brody Lee.
No, I mean, and I think as you go along, as you collect and over time, you just know which figures to pre-order and which ones you can get away with, and then the ones that you probably should, but you want to take a gamble on to make it a little more exciting each outing. But which ones to buy and which ones not to buy. And even if you overpay in the immediate aftermarket for some of these figures, like just say you buy that, Amazon exclusive Warrior, right? He's $99, whatever he is right now. It's like, oh shit, well, I'm paying, whatever it is, quintuple the price, quadruple the price right now, but that could be a $300 figure in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean,
so
the
first look at it that way too.
The first Warrior, the first Warrior figure that came out was a peg warmer for the longest time. Now you can't find that for less than $200.
Right. A lot of these Ultimates. I mean, when the Ultimates go, they go.
Yeah.
So just about all of them, really.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's crazy, but but. Again, like going back to what we're talking about with, being competitive and local competitors, like it's funny, like all joking aside, like I've got to compete with Mike. I've got to. Well, actually, I shouldn't even say I have to compete with
Mike.
Mike doesn't go into Target.
He doesn't hunt. Mike goes shops.
Yeah, Mike doesn't go into Target and Walmarts anymore, so I don't have. Dude, he was fucking pissed off as it was that I had to drag him into a Walmart on Sunday when we were hanging out. So, he was like, he's like, you're making me come in here. It's like, fuck, So, but then I've got my buddy from high school, Diamond Dave. The
Oh,
brightest of
he's from
the brightest. He lives right down the
he's
street from me.
he's
He
from
li-
high school. That's cool. I
yeah,
didn't know that.
he
That's
lived that,
cool.
and that's how we reconnected through collecting.
That's awesome.
He was in a Facebook group, and I met the guy who ran the Facebook group. He invited me to join the Facebook group, and then I started posting in there. And then he goes, and he just comments on one of the posts. He's like, Seth? And I'm like, Dave? And he's like, oh shit, man. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck's going on? So it's like,
That's
because
crazy.
we haven't seen, we didn't see each other. We haven't seen each other since graduation.
Did you
And
know
that
he lived in Florida?
yeah, Dave lives right down the street from me.
Did you know that when he first reached out to you, though?
Yeah. I knew he was still in the area, but because we all have friends, so me and Dave graduated from high school back in 2001. So I mean, it's being able to reconnect with a good buddy from high school over this, and the funny thing too is that he saw how much fun I was having doing YouTube, and now he decided to start doing YouTube.
Right,
but
that's right. He has a channel now.
Yeah, but it's funny though because it's like I've got to compete against him, even though he's my friend.
Yeah, he's out there too. He's definitely getting out there.
Oh yeah, he gets out there way more than I do. So and he where he works in a really good area where it's more of the elderly community. So less collectors. So less collectors hit that area. So he's always oh, I found the turtles today, man. Fuck you, man. What the hell, It's like, where were you? He's like, oh, I was all the way out there. I'm like, I'm not fucking going out there. So it's like, I've got Diamond Dave. I've got other friends that I've made through doing this, but the good thing is that, again, taking Dave for argument's sake.
Yeah.
If Dave knows I'm looking for something, Dave will do either one or two things. Dave will try to call me and ask me if I need it, or he'll just buy it in hopes that I haven't found it yet. And
that's your guy right there.
And then when I link up with him, he pulls it out of the bag and he's like, "Hey, I got this for you, man." And then I'm like, "You son of a bitch," But it's like, but I appreciate, again, I appreciate it, because, and I do the same thing with Dave. I'm like, "Hey," "Did you come across this yet?" I'm like, "No, do you need it?" And he goes, "Yeah," and I'll grab it for him. That's just what we do. Again, it's. Again, all joking aside with the competitive stuff, but it's like, again, it helps when you have people locally that can assist you.
It does, and I have that here too. And just meeting them through YouTube and the community, and that has been super helpful over the course of the past year. One of the guys actually no longer is working in my area, general area, so he's not around. But yeah, there are one or two guys here that will always give me a heads up. Put things in a weird place. So not only have they helped me find some stuff, they've also helped me generate some different additional content on the channel.
Good old Aunt Gertrude.
Aunt Gertrude is never up to any good. We all know. We all know it. The Parcheesi stuff, she's always putting shit behind it. The board games. But
yeah, man. I mean, honestly, one of the most difficult things to find right now, I feel, for people are those freaking retro Spider-Man figures.
Dude,
tough. I mean,
I got very lucky with that a few weeks ago. Very lucky. I found the Mother Lode.
Only one I was able to find was the Shocker. That was it.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the peg warmer that I think wave. But I think that's probably the first. So 3 weeks ago, I found 6 Black Suit Spideys and 3 Ben Rileys in one shot.
Wow.
And so that was fun. But I have not seen anything since. I've seen one Shocker on a random dolly in a different section as I was walking towards the main toy aisle a week later. I have never seen a Hobgoblin. I still need Hobby. And I haven't seen Hammer. I haven't seen any of the rest of the wave.
Yeah.
I really only wanted Black Suit. I mean, I want Black Suit, Ben Riley. Black Suit was my top one. I needed Symbiote Spidey and Hobgoblin, but I have not seen Hobgoblin at all. I haven't seen any of the Black Series Archive wave at all, except Obi-Wan one time at a Walmart. The problem for me around here, I have Targets around me, good ones, in my general area. So I have White Plains, West Nyack, Palisades Mall, the mall I go to right over the bridge here, Spring Valley, which is a Target right next to that. So those are my 3 go-tos. But for Walmarts, I have one. So there's one Walmart in the Palisade Mall area over here by me in Rockland. I live in Westchester, right across the bridge. But outside of that, I drive to Norwalk, Connecticut, which is a fun drive. I got my coffee, I do my thing, I have a nice little make a day out of it, half a day out of it. But those are like that's like 30, 35 minutes away from me, and I do that just because I enjoy doing it. I don't have the one close Walmart that was less than 10 minutes away closed down a few years ago.
Oh, that
So
sucks.
Walmart's I pretty much have one Walmart that I can go to that's like relatively, close. And so that kind of sucks. So whenever there's a Walmart exclusive, I'm like, fuck,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. I mean, and that's the thing with this thing. You got a Walmart
Yeah,
exclusive. You can't.
sucks. You
Yeah.
got one store. I mean, like it's simple math, basic elementary there. Not good odds.
but but yeah, man. I mean, I hear you, and it's like I said, it's good to have those connections that
Yeah, for sure.
we have that could assist us. The other thing too is, like you said before, with the statues. I mean, from us talking in the past and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure you've in boxes, unfortunately.
Yes.
You've got, I'm sure, an extensive statue collection, which hopefully one day you can spread the love with the world, and show
Yes.
show everybody what you got once Boxville is under control. But
Yes, it is
you
not
know,
right now.
so it's like, so this is the one thing that's always, curious to me. Do you get more enjoyment out of the figures, or do you actually get it out of the statues?
That's such a phenomenal question, and it's that because and the reason that I think that's a fantastic question because that question is the exact reason why I have and collect both. It's different. Completely different experiences to me. And there are some days and weeks and months where I wake up where I'm just like totally into statues more than figures and vice versa. And I think it's just because it's a totally different experience. Figures and toy hunting to me, they go together. Figures would be, I don't want to say less appealing to me if I couldn't go out and hunt them down. I would definitely still order them online. Like, I mean, there are some things that you just can't go out and buy
Yeah,
in stores or like hunt down in, big box retail and stuff. Like Mythic Legions, I absolutely love those.
but they're
Um,
based out of Jersey, aren't they?
yeah, they're basically yeah, but those are online drops, or you go to ToyCon, you go to the Jersey cons and whatever, and they're
Yeah,
there. You can pick them up there. I've never done that, but Mythic Legions, some of these other online for the most part only exclusive figures that you'd get. Super Seven, all the Ultimates I buy online, Big Bad or off the website, their website itself. These days mostly off Big Bad. Um, but it's just different, and the different elements is what draws me to both. So being able to go out in the near term, immediate term, go out whenever, any day of the week, multiple days a week, and just go and look for something. To me, like that hunting aspect, part of the collecting. I mean, Marvel Legends draws you in with the build of figures. It's all of
yeah.
that has collecting elements, heavy collecting elements to it, and I enjoy that. Being able to go out, find something, bring it home, add it into my collection. Also with figures, posability and articulation. I've always had an affinity for small. I played a lot of D&D tabletop when I was a kid, so I always had an affinity for like very small, not even 3 3/4, but miniatures.
Yeah.
Even I used to. I'll always consider myself a Lego guy, but there was a time where all I did was Lego and medieval castle stuff. Because I enjoyed building and creating my own mock displays. I had like a 40 by 40. Actually, the table that I'm on now I had a huge mock castle display back in the day. I
Nice.
have pictures on my Instagram. Yeah. So, but I enjoy posing figures. I enjoy the creativity with the displays that I feel like you can have a lot that lend weight of figures more than they do with statues. Um, so that sort of stuff, everything that I mentioned, and also just all of the near term scratching the figure itch of being able to go find something, collect it near term instead of having to wait all this time. On the other hand, there's statues where I do enjoy kind of just sitting back, with a bourbon and taking a look at my display and being like, that's a classy fucking piece right there. And
Yeah.
just evaluating the art and sitting back and just enjoying the art and thinking of what ways I can, what to pair with what. Can I switch my shelving up to make this look better? Should it be more focused? It's a more, I think, long-term methodical approach. You get the online drop, you wait for, just say, Prime One, for example, to do their showcase once a quarter, whatever they do, and you get to see everything. Prototypes or soon to be in production, production prototype, whatever. You get to see the process all the way through, and then it's, to me, that's exciting to put a pre-ordered. I pre-ordered 2 statues today, actually.
Oh,
Um, the XM Apocalypse quarter scale and the XM quarter scale Cable.
Nice.
So yeah, and like I like seeing something and I'm like, Sideshow put something out, I'm like, I like that. I don't know if I love it though. I'm gonna pass because I know XM or someone else's Prime One's gonna do something. And just like the waiting for that to me is what collecting is all about. It's like seeing something and not just being a gavone and being like, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
It's like there are part like I do that maybe with figures more so. You don't want to necessarily do that with fucking statues.
Well,
And it's like, and I enjoy, and like there's some things I know right off the bat. I'm like, I need that, I want that, I love that. And I think being able to like discern between liking and loving to me has been an enjoyable skill. It's an I think to acquire and I think like and develop, and I think collecting is an art, and to me it really comes out in a different way with statues. I like watching unboxing and review videos of statues, especially if there's something of interest of mine that I don't have yet that I'm either on the fence about or that I'm excited to see. So those sort of things is what, if that makes sense, draws me to the statue game. But like, and so while I'm waiting for the statues, I have the figures, kind of coming in, or I get to go hunt those down. And to me, it's a mix that works.
so I agree with what you're saying, but where I feel about the statues is okay. I'm gonna spend $1,000 on one piece,
Yeah.
whereas I could spend $1,000 and get a slew of action figures.
Yeah.
And that's my dilemma, because me personally, I like you, I love both. I just don't act on it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I have a few statues in my piece in my collection. Do I feel adamantly about a lot of them? I would say some of them are more impulse buys because people were offering up a good deal at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll hold on to it. Maybe it'll go up in value. Maybe I'll get a good RTI on it. I don't know. So it's like, like all my Captain America pieces, I've bought those pieces because I'm a Captain America guy. That's my thing. Now I have the Miles Morales Sideshow. I have the Spider-Man premium format. I've got the Wolverine premium. I've got the Wolverine premium format. I got the Iron Man the Mark III exclusive.
You've got a good amount of statues there. I know that.
I've got about like nine of them.
Yeah,
I've got
that's a lot.
Yeah, I've got the XM Studios Mysterio.
That's an awesome underrated piece.
It is.
Love
Absolutely
phenomenal. Yeah.
And I have the Hulk versus Wolverine.
Also
and
fantastic.
And it's just like they're great to look at. They're awesome pieces of work. Yeah. Do they take up a lot of real estate? Yeah.
These days more than ever. I know.
And with the direction that I'm going, like I have both AEW full scale rings.
Yeah.
I would like to take those out of the boxes and set them up.
Of course.
But I can't because the statues are eating up the real estate.
Something's got to go.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's like what do you do? So again, but that's the choices we have to make as collectors, and it's the hard choices. I mean, listen, I'm not going to lie. I've sold shit off, and then I've had instant regret, and I go back and buy, and a couple of weeks later, I wind up buying the same thing back.
That happens, though.
That I got rid of, And do I look like a schmuck for doing it? Of course, but that's just the way it is sometimes. I mean, listen, there's not one person on the face of this planet that collects that can't say they've done the same thing.
Well, it's especially nowadays when there's so many different variables and factors at play. You have we're oversaturated with stuff. So it's sensory overload every single day that we look at this shit. So, I mean, it's like, so to see one thing and be like, oh man, I really want that. And then you get it. And then you see something else that has nothing. So just say you buy a Marvel Legends figure, and then it's like, oh, or deluxe figure or something. And it's like, oh, this is fantastic. I'm really happy with this. And then Hasbro comes out with like a new Black Series playset or something, like, oh, I really want that, but that's going to start encroaching on my Marvel Legends display, and I kind of only have room for one. And then, like, you watch fucking Book of Boba Fett, and you get inspired by Star Wars, and then you buy Star Wars, and it's like, so it's you have all of these things, tugging on your testes all the time, and it can make decision making tough. And I say it all the time, decision making in collecting, especially nowadays, is paramount. It's difficult, but that to me is part of the fun, because like anything else, hopefully you get better at it, and you understand, you become more in tune with what you want and what you want to have in the house. I think one of the most difficult things for me, without having a display now for over a year, is being unable to visibly to have a visual of what my collection looks like.
Oh yeah,
Standing up.
I
It's
mean,
fucking hard to collect that way.
like, listen, there's two things with you that concern. Well, doesn't one of them concerns me, the other one doesn't. The one thing I'm excited for you about Boxville is that you have the golden ticket. You have a blank canvas to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. That's something that rarely ever falls into someone's lap. You've got a blank canvas to do what you want. The problem is planning that blank canvas out to accommodate all the stuff you've got, and the stuff that you're continuing to get, and the future stuff that you've pre-ordered that won't come out for another year or two.
Yep.
So it's like that's the downside to it. So it's like, you could say, hey, okay, this corner of the room is going to be all statues. Oh shit, I forgot about these 5 that are coming in. All right, I'm going to have to pull a little bit more from this section to make that happen. Yeah. And then, again, but I mean, listen, it's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, and I think about that stuff when it comes to collecting. I think about that every day, every moment that I'm doing this, and I've recently really hashed out this room the way I want it to look, and even like down to measurements and what I want to do. I'm going to have custom shelving I'm going to break it up, so I'm going to have pretty much statues that accent each theme. So I'm going to have 74.5 inches of a custom shelf, a box that's risen off the ground, the little riser.
Yeah, riser.
And almost where it's gonna be wood, but it's gonna look like almost like a garage shelf. So the middle is gonna be open. It's gonna have a top that you can put stuff on, and then next to that, I'm gonna have a custom built riser with 2 details, and I'm gonna do that for each theme. And then across the big wall, I'm gonna have like my Lord of the Rings statues coming in. That's gonna take up a lot of space. That's just gonna be one big box off the ground, and so on and so forth. And so I have it hashed out. And even when I go out, I stay away from I love Transformers. I don't collect it though. I love a lot of different Marvel things that I stay away from. I stick with comic accurate stuff. So I try to stay very cognizant of that. At the same time, it makes it's still, to not be able to see what you have, the depth of what you have. It's a challenge, for sure. And I just, and the other thing that sucks now is that the prices for materials, everything is just up and up and up and up.
Oh, it's going through the roof right now. Yeah.
So I got quoted. So the space down here, the entire basement, including the full bathroom, is like 1,700 square feet.
Woo!
I'm trying to box in. So yeah, I'm not going to do the whole thing, because I do kind of want it enclosed. But so I'm going to box in 660 square feet of that, which is plenty for what I think I want to do.
Yeah, you have a collection room. It gives you room for a studio, for a studio space.
And I don't want a gigantic warehouse or museum. I want it to feel like a collection.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good amount of space. So, and we have electrical is built out down here. I really just need heating and everything. I have vents down here. I really just need sheetrock. There's some additional electrical stuff I want to do because I want to have separate electrical for my displays, and then general electrical lights for the room.
Yeah.
But I'm getting quoted like 30 grand, 35
Woo!
grand for 600. I'm like, if that's the case, okay, but I need to just shop around and make sure that that is truly what it is. I don't know, but was not expecting, that. If that's what I have to pay, then fine, but I need to make sure that that's what it is. So but I'm itching to get all this stuff set up,
Oh, you could put that in your bum, that $30,000. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Blow it out your ass.
Fuck me. Fuck that. Fuck me. Fuck you. Fuck each other. Jesus.
Yeah. Seriously, dude.
That's crazy. That's crazy, man. So,
we'll see.
So to kind of wrap things up a little bit, one of the things I like to do at the end of this is ask this very generic question that I've asked to all my guests, with the exception of Big Dub, because I dropped the ball on that. So I'm still sorry, Dubby. I love you. What are 3 collectibles in your collection that you cannot live without? That you would never part ways with?
Oh man, fuck. I would say, well, I'm gonna bundle this as one. The vintage Kenner Star Wars stuff that I picked up last year.
Okay.
So they're mint, loose, untampered with, uncirculated. So all of those, no way. I'm gonna have those sent off to get graded. That for sure. I would say another part of not having anything set up here is hard to.
Yeah, knowing what you actually have.
Yeah, so I would say that for sure. I would say my Hasbro collection.
Okay.
No way, that's not going anywhere. So that, along with the original ring that I have. So those 2 things for sure, and we'll just stick with figures, because statues. But those 2 things for sure, and then I would say my vintage on card unpunched TMNT collection that I actually bought from an awesome guy, an awesome vendor at NYCC back in 2018. I've got like all my favorite. I got Pizza Face. I've got a couple of the Turtles. I've got Donnie in Disguise.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are definitely off the top of my head. I would never part with any of that. I will never part with any of that stuff.
That's cool. So here's a little fun fact for you. I'm actually planning a trip to New York. I'm planning on coming up sometime in July.
Oh, it's July. Cool.
It's July. So I'm planning on coming up sometime in July. What I want to do is obviously get with you and get with a few other people, and I want to do a hunt. Kind of like what I did when I went into New York last time for Comic-Con. We did a hunt. We did a hunt in the city. I don't want to do a hunt in the city. I don't want to do a hunt. I don't want to do a hunt in the city. There are a few places that I've seen on your video. There's a few places that I've seen on TPC collectors.
Yeah.
My man Jeff. Jeff. There's a few places I've seen on Jeff's videos that I want to hit up. So it's like I kind of want to just, hit up some stores, not like Walmarts and Targets. Like I want to hit up like actual shops.
Yeah.
So that's my plan, and I plan on setting aside a day for that. So it's gonna when I have more details and exact dates of when I'm gonna be there. I know it's in July. I just don't know exactly what time.
Yeah, dude. Just let me know. I mean, there's also Hastel out there.
Oh yeah, I gotta see Mitch.
I want to go see him too. Because he switched storefronts a couple times. I've never actually. I mean, he and I talk a lot. I've been ordering from him for years, but I've never actually been to one of his stores. I mean, for me, I'm in Westchester, and he's all the way out in Long Island, so it's like that can be tough, as you know.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm looking. That's what I'm looking forward to. So I get to wrap my arms around you and give you that giant bear hug.
Yeah, dude. I should be. I think I might even be down in Florida. Before that. So I will. Let you know for sure. Yeah, that's definitely coming.
I think next time you come down here, because I know when you come down, you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'll definitely make my trek out there. And then that way we can take you to Emerald City.
Mike was talking about Emerald City when we were driving over to you, and I was just like, that place. And plus, like those videos, I'm like, that's a dangerous place.
So we gotta take you to Emerald City when you come down here next time.
Yeah,
I mean, it sucks though, because like I wish I knew, but Brutus the Barber Beefcake was there this past weekend.
Oh, I saw that. He did a little.
I would have loved to been. Yeah. I mean, I would have let him cut my hair. I mean, I don't have much hair to cut, but But yeah, man. So, dude, I appreciate you coming on, guys. I will leave the link in the description below for Ron's channel, his Instagram. Go follow him. Go subscribe. Go show the toy hunting machine some love.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on, dude. This was a lot of fun, and obviously we'll do it again. We'll do it again soon. And yeah, man. I mean, It was a fun chat. See, this is what I like. I love this type of show because it can go anywhere. I don't have any real agenda. I just bullshit and we see where it goes.
That's my favorite style of anything. I mean, that's what this is. It's you and I catching up, and that's always a good time. So
Exactly.
Thank you for having me.
No,
it's an honor and a
appreciate it.
pleasure. Always. This is a lot of fun, and I definitely plan to return the favor once I can get some sheetrock in this fucking.
Oh, I'm definitely coming on your channel once you get that fixed up. So
Yeah,
I mean, when I come to New York, I might just have to make a visit to Boxville.
Oh, dude, yeah, yes. That goes without saying.
I might have to get the full ambiance of what Boxville really is.
I mean, almost part of me, almost the sicko in me, almost wants to hold out now to not build this thing, so you can actually just like waft it, take it all in.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
So guys, like I said, I'll leave the links in the description below for Ron's channel. Again, make sure you go check him out, go subscribe, follow, show him some love. Also, guys, don't forget, comment down below of who you would like to see me get on the show next. I'm always open to your suggestions and people you want to see on the show and see where it goes. And yeah, guys, so if you like what you saw, please be sure to give a thumbs up. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe. As always, be sure to hit that bell so you get notified every time another episode of The Collector Shot gets uploaded for your viewing pleasure. As always, you can check out all the excellent content we always offer right here at MCE. And until next time, guys, maybe I just might give someone else their shot. Cheers, bitches.
Peace.